All right, I think I have it here. Greetings and welcome. Hope it's not too blurry. Sorry about that, you guys. Thank you for stopping by here on YouTube Live at The Real Bloom from Within Love. I go by Bloomy. And excuse me, I had to take a very, very important phone call. So I do apologize for the interruption there. Like I just totally ended the video abruptly a moment ago. But I had a call that I was on hold for, you guys. And so basically, I was trying, oh, fuck me. I was trying to multitask, right? So, because this is going to be a pretty busy day for me. So, as I was chit chatting with you guys, then my cue came up online and I'm like, oh, I got to go. And so, again, I apologize about that. Now, anyway, enough of that. Anything that you need to know about me should be listed in the description box, okay? This is not a reading, rather it's a discussion. A little bit ago, I was on my TikTok live portal and I'm having a lot of data and connectivity issues. And so I was like, you know what, let me just go on to the YouTube portal. And that way, any and everybody who has, followed me or subscribed would be able to go on and see this at any point when they want to, okay? Now, the title, as you guys can see, is Silence and Discernment is Key. And you guys see these hashtags, Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, Karmics, okay? And it's for all zodiac signs. So, and it's essentially, this is for anybody who feel like what I'm going to share and talk about is relevant and resonate, okay? Now, I want to say that, thank you to all of you who are, my subscribers, my viewers, my faithful ones, those who actually subscribe and follow and view me for the higher vibrational reasons, real true supporters. I want to just send my shout outs, my love and light out to you and tell you thank you, okay? Because I do appreciate those that are actually a part of Bloom from Within Love for pure, loving, high vibrational intentions. I appreciate you all, and I wish you all well on your path and your journey. I sincerely do, okay? Those of you who have donated, those of you who have liked, those of you who have shared, those of you who have, said positive comments, thank you, okay? I appreciate that. We can all use more of that, right? And so I wish you well, and I hope that you get those things that you need given back to you, okay? Now, to the topic at hand. Yesterday, I was, can you guys see? Or is it like all fuzzy? Can you guys see? Anyway, let's see. Let's do it like that. Whoop. Okay. Give me a little sippy sip. Yesterday, right? I was listening to a beautiful reader, one of the readers that I admire, okay? I have readers that I listen to and that, I admire like everybody else. And I am making a point of reference here because it's my intention to have more and more integrity, okay? And back when I was in college, anytime you had to do like a research paper, a report, a term paper, anything like that, there was like this protocol. You had to do what they would call works cited. Yeah, I don't know what they call it now. But essentially, that was a way of being in integrity regarding where did you get this information from, right? So for me, it's my attempt to just kind of reference when it's something that I specifically heard someone else, okay, where it's like, oh, okay, I was listening to that. And this is what inspired this. And I wanted to kind of further elaborate on the topic, okay? And I'm not mentioning the name because I have no personal affiliations with this particular reader. And, so it's in the name of exercising privacy, for that person, but acknowledging that it did come from somebody else. Side note, okay? As I was listening to this reader, she was talking about basically why, she was doing a reading, and her reading was on a divine journey. So there was a divine masculine, a divine feminine, and karmics at play. And in this particular story or collective of readings she was doing, she talked about this. She was like, see, this is why we shouldn't be bragging, we shouldn't be stunting, we shouldn't be putting on blast, the good things, because it attracts low vibrational people. It attracts people who are predatory in nature, right? When we want to put on blast status, like, woo, I got this car, I got this job, I got this, bonus or whatever. And she kind of referenced how those that are karmic or low vibrational, they just sit back rubbing their hands together going, tell me more. And they commence to start, strategizing. In this story that she was doing the reading, the masculine energy had got caught up with a lot of karmic energy. That person had a lot of karmic energy around them, and they messed around and trusted the wrong people and told the wrong people about whatever blessings, benefits, bonuses, monies, resources, or whatever, okay, that they got. And it just simply attracted predators, okay? So I feel like anybody could really benefit from her story. It's like it's a wisdom principle. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, because it only gives people a way to strategize in terms of how they're going to come at you, how they can try to possibly disarm you. I think I had a reading the other day talking about relationship traps and pitfalls and our Achilles heel and kryptonite, and how certain people can disarm you through that, okay? And so that reading that she had, it was crazy. Like, okay, this person, majority of their friends and family were karmics. And they capitalized off this person's energy and off of this person's resources. So they start manipulating, they start doing black magic, they start lying, they start doing all sorts of stuff. In that case, in the reading, they did things even against the divine feminine in order to keep that masculine kind of confused, discombobulated, and distrusting the divine feminine, which was it was weird. It was so fucked up. The story that she was reading for, and it was all based in greed and jealousy and envy, and the karmics wanting what, the divine, what was supposed to be divine feminines, and, all of this crazy low vibrational energy. And so essentially the point was, see, this is why. This is why we need to be tapping into our own discernment. We need to be doing our healing work, our shadow work, because when we're not, this is why we become so susceptible more and more. If you have greed and if you are ruled by that, you're going to keep attracting. And if you're stunting because you're trying to look fanciful and like you the shit, you know what I'm saying? You're going to keep attracting in those type of people that don't mind, you know what I'm saying, pretending to be whatever you need them to be in order for them to get what they want to get. you know? I was like, damn. And then she talked about, the whole idea of twin flames and, divine feminine, divine masculine. These are some high level journeys, and it comes with a high level fuck shit too. And when she talked about that, she was like, this is another reason why, because those who came on those high level journeys, they have more karmic energies that surround them than most. Okay. They usually have it in their families, and then they have it, in their circle that they have to get through as a part of their healing process. So it's kind of like, in that process, when these divine beings are still waking up and still trying to do this healing, it serves them well to not say as much, or to not, fall into the weakness of, okay, I'm trying to get somebody to want me, so I'm going to say, show them what I have here, or I'm going to tell them my plans. And, because all they're going to do is continue to strategize against it to make it more challenging for them. Right? So I was like, fuck me. When I was listening, I was like, what? But it all makes sense, you guys. It's like, to me now that I'm looking back from what I was listening to yesterday, I'm like, it makes sense. It's basic. It's like, oh. So what makes it challenging, though, let me be fair. I'll be fair. What makes it challenging, I think, is that, first and foremost, when you're doing your own healing, you're trying to work through your own shit anyway. So you got your own get down, right? Well, then typically the hardest thing for divines to overcome in their process to awakening is the initial stages: friends, family, and clergy. Those are the initial stages of what they have to free themselves of. And let me explain what I mean when I say that, okay? Because I already can feel the energy. What I mean by that is, again, only take, if this is resonating with you. If it's not, bless your life, right? Don't have to make it yours. Like I said, divines, those that came with a high level soul contracts, those that came to awaken this time, okay, they usually come into karmic family because they did that as an assignment on behalf of the blood, okay? So that by way of their life, that is going to alchemize something for a bloodline, even if every member of the family, it doesn't have nothing to do with every single member of the bloodline in the carnation, rather the bloodline itself. So they come to do that. That's a part of their contract. But because of that, their first assignment is to the self and the trauma that comes as a result of the karmic family. Okay? The karmic family, the pain, the suffering, the abuse, the narcissism, the negligence, the abandonment, their surroundings, their environments, like all of those first primary relationships, okay, is what they have to heal and work through, that inner child, shadow work, yada, yada, okay? But the challenge is these are deep bonds usually, right? It's blood. It's your own blood, or, people that you have grown up with for the majority of your life, or a culture, or, systems that you have been indoctrinated and culturalized into. So it's not always that simple or easy to see through, okay? And so, that's the challenge. And they capitalize, if they're karmic in nature. I'm not saying all of them are as toxic. They're not. Some of them are, though. And they capitalize. See, here's the thing, you guys. I'm trying to say this as delicately, and I'm, trying to, be fair and devil's advocate here. But I still have to speak it, this is why we need to do our own research. But anyway, that's another day. But karmic template or energy, they benefit from the divines remaining as such. You see? That's where they have the benefit. This is why there is the resistance. This is why chaos is usually thrown into a twin flame dynamic to put them against one another. This is why high level spell work or manipulations and all these things commence. Because the karmic template, matrix template, programming, energy, frequency, mindset benefits from the divines remaining that way. Because the divines are powerful manifestors in a different kind of way. It's in their blueprint, okay? It's their energy. On a subconscious level, karmics are aware of that. So they like to juice the energies of divines. They, erroneously think that they could get the destiny, but that's not what ends up happening. Okay, they end up kind of destroying their own lives in the process of trying to hold on to divines or trying to interrupt and, come in between divine paths and stuff like that. They end up really kind of fucking up some get down for themselves. You know what I'm saying? On a long haul. Because the benefit, the divine paths only fully activate in its full potential when they are in alignment with their higher selves and when they are in alignment with that divine guidance. Otherwise, there's a hindrance to it. Okay, there will be a hindrance. There will be like all kind of shit, man. It'll come and then it'll kind of like explode or some shit. And it'll keep doing that until that divine person surrenders, get in alignment, heal, cleanse, and start releasing people and detaching. So that their energy is pure, so that their energy is not exploited, and so that the divine is not absorbing the karmic's karma. Right? So anyway, I know I'm getting way off topic there, but the simplicity of what this beautiful reader was saying, like, see, like, this is why y'all don't be saying that. Like, don't be stunting, don't be, you know what I'm saying, telling somebody that, woo woo, woo woo woo, the twin and all of this and all of that. Because karmics, it's like, telling a bank robber that, it's like telling a bank robber that bank A, B, and C down the street has no security there and it's free for all. You know what I'm saying? They just got to go over there real quick. You know what I'm saying? That's, their asses is over there. Like, what? You know? What we got to do to get over there and get that shit? Let's do a spell so we can pretend like, you know what I'm saying? So, guys, whether you feel like you're on a divine path or not, you know what I'm saying? Not all karmics are toxic. Some karmics are just simply here to live the very basic surface 3D existence. And that's okay. So it's like, to me, the principle is simply, look, everybody don't need to know. We don't have to hide. I feel like there's this fine line we need to draw because nobody wants to live like, okay, so you're supposed to live like you can't share your blessing or you can't reveal things or whatever. And it's like, I don't think that's it. I think it's more about timing, intention, and still kind of showing a level of discretion because there's nothing to prove. We don't have to prove anything. I'm going to tell you guys, one of my hardest lessons, and this is what most people go through when they're ascending and they're healing and they're transforming, right? Even the divines, is based on our inner child woundings. We all have our issues that we process through. And so one of the hardest lessons is, for me anyway, and I'm sure it's going to resonate with a lot of divine feminines, hell, anybody shit, is don't, kind of like what the reader was saying, if you got to try to buy someone's love, or if you have to try to, like, I don't want to say buy, but if it's like, if you got to package up some shit, like to convince somebody to like you, love you, want to be with you, want to settle down with you, want to choose you, then that's already kind of a red flag that maybe something's not quite right. So, because when we start pretending that, it's like the reader was saying, you're still going to attract individuals. If you're using that, you're still going to attract individuals that are there for that reason. It's kind of the reason why we need to get to the heart of the matter in our lives in terms of what we want and why we want it. Because it's a vibration. And if we're coming from a space in our energy that is about, whether it be because you're trying to buy love and you feel like you don't have no choice but to buy love, or if it's about the other side of it where it's like more a manipulative tool to control people, because there's two ends of this pole. Some use that, I did some posts on my TikTok portal there, some shorts, money is power. So some use that as an entrapment as well, in terms of, okay, come over here, do this and this and this, and I got this, I'll give you that. It's going to be wonderful. And we're going to woo woo. And then, but they never quite do it to your real benefit because they don't really want you free. They want you to have to be entrapped in some way. It's a control mechanism, a control tactic. Okay. So it's like, that's why it serves us well to heal. And this one of the things I had to learn, and I'm glad today to say, like, okay, that's when you're going into that frequency of self-love and that frequency of where, it's got to be organic and authentic. If an individual don't see your worth and value where you are, then that's, that might be an indication for you to kind of like, I'm serious, y'all. I'm not saying y'all should be judgy. I ain't saying that. I'm not saying, it's just that we get ourselves into, pickles here when we're trying to use our, whether it's our looks, our sexuality, our wiener, our hoo-ha, you know what I'm saying? Our connections, our resources, as a means to get somebody. That's very dangerous. Because usually if that was the get down, then you're going to have to keep that going because it wasn't organic, it wasn't authentic, it wasn't love based. It was stuff based. Right? Now for the divine paths, it's like, this is the sad part. Another reason why silence and discernment is something that needs to be sought after, meditated on, prayed for, whatever your get down is. Because look, I'm telling y'all, man, I'm telling you what I know. Do your own due diligence. Do your own research. Stop relying on others to give you that. Like, you're a divine being. Even if you're not in alignment, you still are. It's up to you to do that journey and seek, but woo, man. Divines, like I said, most divines have karmic family and they have karmic friends. Some have some severely toxic ones. Some have some that are narcissist, covert. So they will commence to sabotage. And a lot of this stuff will be being done behind your back. Both, not just one, both. And the whole plan, especially if they know, if this is some knowledge, if they're aware of something, hear me out. If they're aware that a divine masculine or a divine feminine, is dating, because if you have, dark spiritual practitioners too, by the way, whether they're in church or they're at the Reiki center, don't matter. So they then they do things on an energetic level, but then they do it on the physical to try to create distortion and chaos and conflict between the divines, feminines and masculines energy. When the divine feminine and masculine aren't doing their work, they in a low vibration, what I call, i.e. karmic prey, because they're not being, in integrity. So they'll believe the hype and bite it. The rumors, the gossip, you know what I'm saying? What happened to my phone? Huh? Did y'all hear my TV Started talking out the blue sky. Oh my God. Anyway, wow. So like that. Well, that interference right there. For me, this was confirmation. They start creating connectivity interference, static. They start dropping seeds. They start, showing, sharing half truths about either the divine masculine or the divine feminine or both. I could say this as a matter of factly because they do a lot of this stuff in secret and behind the scene. And when it's high level sophistication, like I said, what they'll do is exploit like some bits of truth, but they're not, their vibration, their intention, or the full story is not really there. Okay. And then they become imposters. Like these karmics, literally, they're imposters. They try to take on the energy and the personas of the divines and then try to flip and project their actual energy and personality and persona onto the divine. So take the divine's energy, try to impersonate it, and then project theirs so that they could do their stuff. So for an example, if it is a karmic feminine or masculine that is trying to stop a karmic masculine trying to stop a divine feminine or a divine masculine from ascending, from waking up, from healing, or from leaving them alone, right? Or from choosing to go towards their divine counter. Sorry about that. Choosing to go towards their divine counterpart, they'll appeal to the Achilles heel of the divine, okay, of the divine persons to keep them weak, to disarm them. That's stage one, to disarm them. What's their weakness? What's their Achilles heel? Okay. So they'll use that to the wheels fall off, okay, distracted. Then, what I'm saying, while doing that, they're sowing seeds negatively about their counterpart, painting negative pictures, negative, distorted so-called evidence, half-truths, trying to make their intentions and actions look like it was innocent or loving and kind. I'm going to give an example. Like, let's just say it's a karmic feminine that's trying to stop a divine masculine. If the divine masculine is unawakened, and in other words, he's under spell work, he's caving into his shadow, he's caving into his addictions, and and all of those things, right? So, they'll come towards them with everything that they have and be like, let's be together. I'm the divine, I went to a reader, or I went to the pastor, or I went to, whatever it is, methods that they're using. And, we're supposed to be together. I'm really supposed to be the one for you. And, I'm, the stable one. I'm the loving one. I even tried to help divine feminine. And this is in the case where there's, as sick as this may sound, okay, this is in the case where there's been some severe foul play where a divine masculine or divine feminine, has been secretly contacted or start dating or messing with a sibling of the counterparts, okay? Or a friend, let's say a friend, a close family member, something to that effect of the divine counterparts that they had been in contact with or talking to. And in this case, like if the divine masculine wasn't honest about that communication, or that, what I'm saying, wasn't honest that they knew their friend or they knew their sibling and they were talking to them or they were giving them messages. So these are karmic energies that come in on both sides, okay, to start painting certain pictures and exploiting things. I know I'm saying a lot, but you guys, if I haven't learned anything else, I want to say that it taught me that first and foremost, maturity is very important. Being able to stand on one's own 2 feet and use one's own mind, and having a level of wisdom, like not just swallowing things because somebody said it, you know what I'm saying, or they presented something. It's like considering the source, that age old wisdom where it's like, I would call into question if I was dating somebody and then I met their brother or something, or man, I would be questioning shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I wouldn't just be sitting there swallowing it. I would be like, there's always more to things, you know? Man. So if you guys take anything from this discussion, you guys, it's like, it's about maturity. It's about discernment. It's about wisdom. It's about, using your own mind, considering the source, not being blind to the realities of, yes, unfortunately, people that are closest to you could be jealous and could be envious and could, be wanting to keep you in a certain place or wanting to exploit you in some way. And perhaps a person that you're interested in. Like, that's the reality. For an example, I already know, looking back at my past, I'm fully aware that people that I have dealt with had, certain people had a lot of karmic family and friends that was purposefully trying to interfere in a connection that I had. I am like clearly aware. Okay. But to make matters worse, it wasn't just their friends and family, it was mine too. And all of that was behind, hear me out, guys, it was behind the scene. So if any of you are currently going through something and you see all this weird, kind of weird, crazy shit, it's because of karmic energy that was surrounding a connection from the start. High level of spell work and magic, gossip, exploitation of folks' weaknesses and situations, half-truths. All of that was at play from the very beginning. So as you move forward, in life, as you get through all of that and whatever, and you just move on, hopefully you all can take the principles as that beautiful reader was talking about. It's like, don't say nothing. That's why, as of now, I'm limiting a lot of what I even say or share or reveal. I share a little bit, but I'm not doing as much. Even in terms of whereabouts, like check, for an example, people may try to come on and act like they're just asking some like harmless random question or making some kind of statement, but you can bet your bottom dollar. Something like, oh, they may reference something that you used to do, or and you're not doing it anymore, or they don't see you doing a reading over at Starbucks, or they don't see like whatever, right? Or you hanging out over there, or you hanging out here. And they may make a statement like, oh, hey, so, so you ain't doing that over there no more? No, it ain't as basic as it sounds sometimes. In some cases, it's these karmic energies, first of all, trying to surveillance you. Second of all, trying to see if their spell work is working. Okay? And I know I'm not trying to make you all paranoid. I'm only simply giving you guys information to confirm, like, if you feel like something is off about some of the things you've experienced and that it was a lot more to things than meets the eye, it's because it was, or it is. Okay? And though with that gaslighting narcissistic energy, people try to gaslight you, and that's kind of what they do in terms of their circle, probably regarding you. But you know, okay? So, moving forward, guys, you know, I speak of the path in terms of divine feminine, divine masculine, you know, twin flame journeys. I'm a reader, right? And readers, you know, reference that, you know, especially if it's coming through a reading, you know, with the cards or if they're being guided. And then, of course, their own story. But, you know, in my personal day-to-day life, I don't go about when I meet people or I'm hanging out, you know, I'm not going about in that way. I'm not going about saying, you know, to every guy I meet or whatever, I'm not saying, oh, I'm divine, you know. I just act like a regular person because simplicity, I'm starting to appreciate it so much more. I'm starting to understand why even in old ancient spiritual biblical text, you know, I get now why a lot of things were simplified, because when you display too much, it attracts things for the wrong reasons. So it's almost like, I mean, they talked about Jesus and how, you know, how he was kind of, he wasn't flashy. I'll just say it that way. He wasn't flashy. I think it even referenced how he didn't look the way people thought he would, and that people said things like, what good could come of essentially where it came from? And so it kind of gave him this appearance of like just average Joe Schmo. But he was so way more than that. But it was almost like a safety guard, because those who would come to him for the right reasons, he'll know that they were divinely guided. Not because he had a big, huge crown sitting on top of his head and shit. Rhinestones on his sandals. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't why. You see where I'm going with that? I get it. It was the energy, the frequency, the heart. Like, you know, some of the people did come from the fishes and loaves. You know, I think he even said something about that at some point. But see, that's the whole thing of what I'm saying. In terms of those that are close to you, that simplicity, because if they're for you, they are. They're not for you because you have on a big, huge crown. Even Jesus said, I want to say back then, something about, he mentioned something about how you ain't have nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Whoa. I love this. I love these stories. I apply them because they're still playing out. They're still playing out. In the 3D, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so he didn't appear, but those that were close to him were authentic and organic, because it wasn't based on, it was just based on his soul, his energy, his frequency, his get down. It wasn't based on what he had and shit, what his stunt was. It wasn't. And it wasn't based on, you know, they say he, you know, he looked kind of plain in the 3D. So it wasn't based on like he was the finest thing walking and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, in other words, his friends, his connections, or those who really loved him and were close in his deep inner circle was there for soul heart energy. And that's what we want collective. That's the get down, okay? So this is a part of the silence. The silence. How much you share and when you share. It's kind of hard to do as you continue to grow, I know, because I'm asking my guides even still, because I don't know how that's going to play out. They have me, on silent in terms of certain things that's happening for me, and some of the like the good stuff, the blessings, the benefits, the major opportunities that have come through, and how it's going to impact me and bloom from within love. They have me on silent, but I don't know how that's going to work. So that's why I'm really meditating and kind of trying to get the further guidance and see how it plays out. And then I'll share accordingly for y'all, if it resonates with you, because some of the stuff I'm on a public platform. That's bloom from within love. I don't have, you know, I'm not just only operating on storefront. I operate on global. So it's a little, I kind of wonder, how do you do that? Because some of the things is done in that way. So how are they going to, help me out with that in terms of not revealing too much or sharing too much? Because, when you're surrounded by this karmic energy, yeah, you got imposters. Yeah, you got people, trying to strategize and come against you and do their spells. And yeah, you got people who's stealing, and you deal with that. My guides have assured me of some things. It's kind of why I'm no longer worried. But what do you do? And that's kind of where I'm going with it. It's like, yeah, okay, we should be silent. We don't need to say nothing. We need to kind of use discretion and yada yada. It's kind of why I'm not doing as much readings as I have been before. It's a part of why there's, not a lot of activity. I do like maybe a reading a day, you know what I'm saying? And I started doing a lot of shorts, but those are not the readings. It's my way of still giving the guidance that I'm getting and sharing the wisdom principles that I have learned and experienced, and that might be helpful for those who actually follow me. So that's what I'm doing right now in lieu and in between time here. But yeah, at some point, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's going to be like, boom, so I guess it's just a matter of that timing. And I'm just going to follow suit with source and my spirit guides in terms of that. But beautiful souls, my gosh, the best you can, of being silent. We don't have nothing to prove. And using wisdom, it's like, okay, don't be that one. People be jealous. Okay, people be wanting what does not belong to them. Okay. And then some people, if they're very malevolent and low vibrational, you know what I'm saying? They don't even be really caring. They just be, that greedy, entitled, don't want somebody else to have it because I feel like I should. Or, I'm sorry, or just wanting, trying to find power and control, wanting to win at all costs. Like, those are very low vibrational individuals. And they will seek to do these things because of that. Or they just want to hurt somebody, or, they want vengeance, or they, because how dare they thou not talk to, it's like crazy. It's nuts. For real. Especially when people start putting up boundaries, start walking away from people, start cutting away shit that don't serve, start saying, look, I'm done. We ain't finna to play the circus show. That's what we ain't doing. I'm done. When people start doing that, then all of the narc, furies start going, rumbling. How dare they thou not, right? And we need to be mindful of just that. In other words, any information that you're getting from somebody's friend or a family member is a red flag. Concerning a person, you have to ask yourself those deeper questions. Because divine beings, whether or not they agree with something, whether or not they like a particular person, you know, whatever, person, beliefs, whatever, a divine being, someone that is not in practice of religious theory and externals and the Last Supper on the wall and shit and the damn, you know what I'm saying? Whoa. I'm not talking about just these external pious appearance. Those that are in surrender to source and their divinity, they're not, first of all, they ain't gonna be just downright, you know what I'm saying, fucking lying. I'm just gonna call it. They're not gonna just lie on someone, on their character. They're not gonna twist stories and put a piece of truth in the name of trying. They're not gonna do that. They understand people are grown and people have a free will. They respect the divinity of beings. They're surely not going to be trying to sleep with their, you know, their brother or sisters or friends' lover. These are red flags that something is wrong right in your face. That something must not be quite right with somebody. Whether it's your friend or a family member that's doing that, why are they so incessant? What is that about? It's all from their framework, but what is it about? Could it possibly be jealousy because they don't have that themselves? This is why we need to start questioning what's coming at us. And let's say some rumors do come. See, this word is getting real now. Okay, it's getting real. Because let's say some information come. Well, folks, we need to get some balls, some big boy drawers and some big girl panties, and, you know, dealing, you know, going straight to the horse's mouth kind of is what I'm trying to say here. Right? If people are coming at you with stuff, and this is the problem. Like, you don't just swallow that shit. It's like, what? Are you on the short bus? You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh God, no disrespect, y'all. Like, I have a special needs, you know what I'm saying? So I can do that. Just like colored, you know, black folks, we can say certain things or whatever your culture, you know. So I'm not trying to be derogatory and insensitive. I'm being funny. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't just swallow shit. I don't care what kind of so-called fucking proof. You don't just swallow shit. My eyebrows will be fucking raised up. And then if I felt the need, I would do my own due diligence, and I'm going straight to the horse. Okay, so I heard so and so and so and so. Is this true? Or so and so said this. Right? But see, here is the telltale sign, the make or break too. Because see, in order to do that, you have to yourself be of integrity. You yourself have to be, because if you're doing fuck shit, you can't say shit. You heard me? If you know you're doing fuck shit, you can't say shit. How are you going to ask them if something's true? Because you're hiding that you're even talking to that person. You're hiding that you even have that going on. So you can't even verify it. Because in order to verify it, you have to be vulnerable and admit that you were doing something that you were denying. And then we'll sit back and wonder why hell has begun. Like my poem, How Have You Won? When it hits the fan, because it does, especially when fuck shit is involved, it does, and it will, and it do. It will hit the fan. But this is why this honesty, this integrity, when I say honesty, I'm not saying, you guys, none of us is pristinely perfect. I'm talking about intentions and integrity and problem solving and handling things. If you know you're not, if you know you don't have deep, dark secrets and you're not fucking around on somebody and sleeping with their cousin, their friend, their homie, and they, when you know you're living in that way, any other things you can bring to the table and talk about. The issues is when people know emphatically that they're not. And then they'll try to use the weakness of the other person to justify being fucked up. When they were fucked up anyway. That's narcissism all day long. That's another video. That's how they do it. This is how they justify it. This is how they convince themselves to feel good about what they're doing or what they did, to be okay with it. And then also what they try to portray to the public for their image. So collective, set intention for this year moving forward that you're going to try to practice a lot more discretion, not revealing everything, okay? Divine timing for things in terms of what you share and, in terms of the blessings and plans and things like that, and who you share it and how you share it. Like, set those intentions. And in terms of connections, good gracious, God, 2022, it's time to be an adult, not relying on external people to dictate to you or influence you and tell you. It's like taking accountability and responsibility for your own love life, your own choices, your own decisions, getting professional help if you feel like you need to, getting outside help outside of your social circle. And I'm going to say this, something that I have really learned in the last year, even in terms of seeking spirituality or, religion, whatever it is, it's like, that's not even a guaranteed either. This is why it's so important for us to develop our connection to source and that discernment and that intuition. Because you just never know. It's a small, small world. You may be thinking that you're going out there and getting some help and guidance from, depending on what your system of beliefs is. If you're going to church, you may feel like you're going to get some wise counsel, and they're going to give you, and they may know the person that you're talking about and don't like them. You see what I'm saying? So they're going to, whatever is going to come out their mouth is going to be based on that framework. They may hide it behind their position, but it's going to be based on that framework. If you're into the spirituality and you go to a reader, or, you know what I'm saying, and you're sharing information, they're asking you, okay, well, who's this person, and yada, yada, and, small, small world. We got to tap in. Okay. Also, and I'll leave it on this note what time it is, team. Okay. Yep, gotta go. Also, to leave it on this note, you guys, no matter what kind of path you're on, or, whether you're more in the traditional sense or you're more spiritual sense, but if you're someone with a pure heart and of love and light and true divinity and true surrender to source and, higher frequency and all those things, understand, like, we don't do special, and no qualms to those who feel like it's okay, but it's in my resonance that, you know your mantras, your prayers, or whatever you call it, you know what I'm saying, is for your own life, your own journey, and making sure that your energy is clear, or clearing paths and releasing things that's trying to hinder you. But it's never to bend the will of somebody. Me personally, I don't. I know people do those subliminals and they do the spells and all this stuff. Clear your energy, guys, if you feel like that's what people have been doing. And chances are, if you're a divine, you had a whole lot of people doing that. Clear your energy and keep clearing your energy. But in terms of your practice, it's like, it's in my resonance, like, we don't do that. When you're in alignment with divinity, you don't use, that's exploitation of power. We don't do that. We don't use it to basically mind control. Oh, I'm going to make them want me and be with me. Are you that damn desperate? That's how far you got to go to get a motherfucker? Like, that's my resonance. It's like, that's not, it's going to have a catastrophic effect at some point. We don't do that. Love is a free will choice. So we ain't finna do no special binding prayer. I bind them in the name of, this to me. And, you know what I'm saying? Whoop. Like, all that crazy stuff is like, surrender is the key. Wishing them well, love and light, you know. But individuals have a right to the paths they want to take and those they want to choose. Whether we agree or not, man, that includes all of us. So my eyebrows start to raise when I see and hear people acting in those different ways. I'm like, you got to do all that? That's fear. That's attachment. It's codependency. Or greed. Because some people don't even love some of these folks. Sometimes, y'all, I'm just keeping on the one hand. They don't be loving these folks. It's that low vibration. So you set your intentions moving forward. Like, that's not how we do things. And if you're sensing foul play, just continue to work with your team. Continue to clear your energy, wishing people well, releasing people, giving full intention to forgive, giving, what I'm saying? Live your life, speak your truth, hold your ground, have your boundaries, and then learn and move on, and learn and move on and learn. Right? All right, guys. Anyway, that's it and that's all. I won't have time today. Maybe tomorrow, if I'm guided. I think I'll be coming back to do a reading on this topic if I'm guided. We'll see what comes through. But I'll try to maybe put some shorts up, maybe here and there tomorrow as well. But anyway, I love you guys. I wish y'all well. I send y'all love and light. And also join me in setting an intention of, collectively setting these intentions to forgive ourselves and forgive these karmic energies, forgive the karmic families, the karmic lovers of lovers, karmic clergy, karmic, spiritual practitioners, whomever that has tried to hurt you or hinder you or send negative energy towards you in some way. Join me by setting that intention. Join me by calling in and asking for Ho'oponopono energy for yourself and for these folks, cord extraction, energetic boundaries, and asking your higher guidance team to go to work and continue to go to work on behalf of those that are incensed upon that energy towards you. And then live your best life every day. I send you guys love and light. Namaste.